Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Mark Cormier, teaching yoga with the Bay Club here on Facebook Live. I teach Bay Club Financial, Bay Club Tennis, and Bay Club Gateway, all of which I believe will be opening in some capacity sometime soon. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, we have these online presentations, and love to have you here. We'll get going in about 2 or 3 minutes, and just enjoy the music, doing whatever you need to do in order to get ready for a yoga class. We'll see you real soon.
It's like the breeze on the like shorts. Yeah, he did it. He did it
Welcome, Steve. So let me introduce Markel and Josephine, actually, and Josephine. So Markel is our downstairs neighbor. This is her space. This is her video equipment, and she's a professional photographer here in San Francisco. So check her out. Josephine is my daughter, and she's a ski instructor, and right now she's here with us in San Francisco. So anyway, let's get going. Thought we do a lot of circles tonight. So, you guys want to start seated?
Oh, whatever you want.
Yeah, let's start seated.
Okay.
So, finding a seat, I'll suggest a cross-legged sit. I'll suggest bringing your hands onto your knees as we pull back with the hands sitting up a little straighter, a little taller, and a slight tuck of the chin as we take our attention inward. And we can start just by watching our breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Arriving here on our yoga mats or our yoga rugs, ready for an evening yoga practice. Just watching our breath as it flows in and out. From this place of just observing your breath, I'll invite you to shape your breath with a long, slow inhalation, matched by a long, slow exhalation. As you breathe in, finding a full body breath, bringing the air to the top of the chest, the base of the belly, filling up each side waist, filling up both front and back planes of your bodies. And as you breathe out, either keeping the belly soft and just letting the air whoosh out, or adding a constriction of the low belly in and up towards the heart to squeeze a little more air out. To this deeper, fuller breath, finding the Ujjayi breath, a slight constriction of the base of the throat, adding a slight sound and feel to your breath. And as we flow through our practice tonight, letting the sound and feel of the Ujjayi breath be a focus for your practice. Always coming back to that sound and feel, often compared to the sounds of the ocean as the waves wash in and as the waves wash out. To this Ujjayi breath, I'll invite you to find Jiva Bandha, the tongue loop, tip of the tongue to the hard palate just behind the teeth. Hard to see, hard to demonstrate, but keeping that is certainly effective in keeping our jaws relaxed and connecting front and back planes of our bodies. Finally, with your lips closed, a slight smile, a Mona Lisa smile, opening up the front of your throat so your breath has lots of room to circulate, refresh, and revitalize. From here, if you close the eyes, opening the eyes, let's stretch left hand tall. And if you're seeing the opposite thing, just listen to my words. Make sure you do two sides. Left hand finds the floor, right hand tall. And then right hand catches the far side of the left knee. Take a breath to sit tall, and then finding a twist. If it's cool on your neck, looking over that back shoulder and holding for a breath. Letting your next inhale bring you through center. We can stretch right hand high. Right hand finds the floor, left hand high. And then left hand catches the outside of the right knee. Take a breath to sit tall. And then on an exhale, finding your twist and holding for a breath or so. Letting your next inhale bring you through center. Let's stretch left hand high again. Left hand finds the floor, right hand high. And then I'll invite you to rock onto your left sits bone as you take a side bend to the left. And then keeping that right hand right where it is, sliding that sits bone back down. And then holding for a breath as you take a big breath into that top side line, breathing into those ribs. Letting an inhale bring you through center, grounded down through two sits bones, left hand high. Oh, sorry. And let's add the right hand. And now we're going to ground right hand down. We're going to rock onto right sits bone. We're going to lift that left sits bone up and then keep that left hand down as we slide that far sits bone down. And then holding for a breath or two as we breathe into our ribs. Letting an inhale bring you through center. From here, let's take a forward fold, hinging at the hips as we spider our hands forward. And then either keeping neutral spine back of the head in line with the sacrum or going just a little bit further as we pace the palms down to the floor, rounding the spine and breathing into our breath. From here, a tuck of the chin as we spider those fingers back front, reclaiming neutral or tall spine. From here, let's unwind our legs, two long legs on the floor, and just give it a little shake here, using our hands to massage either side of the knee. Fingers find the back of the knee. Letting all the muscles around the knee be relatively flaccid as we give that kneecap a little wiggle. Other side, a hand on each side of the knee. Fingers find the back of the knee, and then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's flip over. I'm going to go sideways so you guys can see me. You guys stay facing front, and you guys face me, those of you all in Facebook Live land, and we'll find an all fours position on our mat. On our all fours position, grounding down solidly through the hands. So all 5 fingers grounding down through the pads of the fingers. Circumference of the hand, drawing the center of the palm up towards the shoulders as we draw the energy up from the floor. Keeping this, let's start the cat-cow combo, unfurling the feet, lifting chin and tail as we arc the back. Breathing out, tucking the toes, tucking tail, tucking chin as we round it in. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Let's throw child's pose into the mix. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. Big toes touch. Sits bones back to the heels as we draw it on back. We round the spine, tucking chin and tail. 2 more times like this. Breathing in, finding the arc. On the exhale, drawing it back as we find the arch. 1 more time like this. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Let's add side to side. Breathing in, lifting it up. And now drawing sits bones back towards one heel. I'll cue right here, lifting on the other side, no big deal. Inhaling, lifting on up, and drawing it back towards that other heel. 2 more times each side, breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. 1 more time each side, breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Let's add a figure 8. Breathing in, coming up center. Drawing it back towards that first heel. Keeping the hips low as we find the other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips in back to first heel. 2 more times this direction, breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. 1 more time, breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Let's take it the other way. Up on that other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips in back to second heel. 2 more times this direction, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. And then back to an all-fours position, feet hip width apart, in any amount. I'll allow you to circle those hips. After your next circle, taking those circles the other way. One more time this direction. And then back to center. I'll allow you to walk your hands just a little bit forward. Eyes of the elbows face loosely in, still solidly grounded down through all 5 fingers. As we move towards our down dog with the cat dog stretch. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. And then tucking the toes, rounding the spine, tailbone high, high, high. And then finding neutral spine as you push into the hands and stretch those heels down. As we hold this first down dog of our practice, I'll invite you to walk the dog from side to side, grounding down through the opposite heel as we bend the far leg deeply, and then finding that same stretch on the second side, and then freely moving back and forth between the sides. You're seeing how your bodies feel tonight, what feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. Welcome, Alita. Welcome, Kathy. Welcome, Addie. Welcome, Julie. Welcome, Megan. Welcome, David. Any suggestions, feel free to comment. I have a program I can always improvise and work into whatever pose you either like, or we can maybe avoid the poses you don't like. It's your practice. Those of you that added the walk to the dog, coming back to a place of stillness, long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. Tail into that next breath, bending the knees ever so slightly to lift the tailbone a little bit higher, and then mindfully making your way to the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. On the exhale, folding. On the inhale, arms overhead, hands overhead pose. On the exhale, standing tall. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, keeping a light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet. From here, Surya Namaskar A with or without vinyasa. So either working a wider stance for more foundation, challenging that foundation with a narrower stance as we connect with our core. So really up to you. You can always change that. Finding your feet, finding your legs, finding your spine. Let your next breath bring your arms up overhead. On the exhale, leading with the heart as we fold. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out back to down dog as you will, either stretching straight back to down dog, or those of you that would like to include vinyasa, finding your yoga push-up, the chaturanga, inhaling into your up dog, and then exhaling back to down dog, and either holding down dog. Another option might be that child's pose. You can find an all fours position. Again, let it be your practice. Great thing about practicing at home is really you can do whatever you want. Similar is true in a yoga studio, but there might be more peer pressure. So there's no peer pressure at all here. One of the beauties of the home practice, although it's certainly fun to work with other people. And we'll get back to that sometime soon. From our down dog shape, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or maybe take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling. Inhaling right in the breath up. Exhaling. Standing tall. So one more Surya Namaskar. We'll add on. Inhaling, arms up overhead. On the exhale, finding your forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And breathing out back to down dog as you will. Either stretching back to your down dog or cycling through a yoga push-up. Inhaling into up dog or cobra. And then stretching it on back. And again, feel free to work with your pace. Feel free to follow your breath. And even in a group class when there's people right next to you, generally down dog's a place where many classes gather. There's no rush to get there. So again, just flowing, feeling that water element in our bodies. The add-on, I promise. Feeling free to hold your down dog. Or from down dog, inhaling forward to plank pose. On the exhale, lifting hips high. So it's not the up dog version yet. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. This last one will hold. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, holding. Inhaling, holding. And on that next exhale, lifting hips high and holding for another breath. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail end of your breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump from it. Take a breath to finally. Exhaling full. Inhaling right into breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. So Namaskar B, we'll just do one. We'll add a hip opening sequence to make it a little more challenging. And then we'll move into a standing pose sequence. So it's your Namaskar B with or without vinyasa, always your choice. Inhaling into our chair. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. So just a little back bend at the top, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, a big swan dive. Take a breath to find length. And then on the exhale, back to down dog as you will, either cycling through vinyasa or just stretching straight back. Follow your flow, follow your breath. From our down dog shape, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart, finding a three-legged dog, right leg high, high on the left toes. Now stacking the hips, lifted leg straight. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, lifting that knee even higher. And then sweeping that right foot out through, spinning the back heel down. Hands can find the hips as you find your balance. And then up and over the head for our warrior. And then on the exhale, spinning the palms out, spinning back heel up for low lunge. And then back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. From down dog, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, left leg high. High on the right toes. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, lifting that knee even higher. And then sweeping that left foot up. Spinning the back heel down, hands can find the hips. And then up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low, back to down dog. As you will. Deep focus. Welcome, Paul. Welcome, Sam. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your Ujjayi breath flows in. And as your Ujjayi breath flows in. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling full. On the inhale, back to your chair pose, knees over toes, hands over. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. Hands by our side. I'll allow you to bring hands to heart, finding your breath. Either keeping a light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet, or adding an isometric engagement, all 5 fingers connect as we press those palms together, elbows wide, 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 strong, steady, and sure in our center. And then hands by our side. From here, let's step or jump our feet hip width apart. On the inhale, we'll bring the arms out to the side. On the exhale, we'll bend the knees and cross the arms in front. It looks like this. Breathing in and breathing out. Finding the opposite cross. Exhale. Let's do 6 of these. Inhaling, switching across each time. Halfway done. 2 more each side. 1 more each way. And then back up. And we can jump it back in, thin like a pen. Again, feel free to work your feet a little wider if it's still stiff. We'll find our chair pose. Knees over toes, hands over hips. Taking it lower. Finding the power chair, Ardha Utkatasana, parallel thighs, parallel torso, the steer's posture. From here, maybe playing with your jump back. If it's not for you, just walk it on back. As we ground down through 2 palms, the hips stay high, we lightly unfold those legs back. And either finding your down dog or cycling through chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog. And then exhaling. Back to down dog. Deep focus. From down dog, flow style. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes. Lifted leg straight as we stack the hips. Now bending that lifted leg, opening up that hip. You better be more for one more guy. That's cool. From here, looking between the hands, lifting that leg even higher. And then sweeping that right foot out through. Spinning the back heel down, finding our warrior 1. Arms up and over the head. From here, we can bring hands back to the hips. So we go longer in our stance if appropriate. If you're already at your max, stay right where you are. From here, we can use those hands to square the shoulders. From here, clasp the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then stretching those hands up. And then with the breath, breathing in as we gather up the energy. On the exhale, as we offer it out. A couple more times. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. I'll invite you to hold this shape as we take a big breath into our heart. From here, right hand, or hand to that front leg, that front leg catches the hip. We'll find length on the far side, reaching up, and then reaching out. A couple more times. Breathing in, reaching up, and then reaching out. Breathing in, reaching up, and then reach, reach, reach. Now let's spin the back heel up. Let's ground that back knee. And let's find a twist as we catch elbow to far side of thigh. I'll allow you to unfurl that back foot to stabilize the shape. And then finding your prayer hands as you press the palms together, elbows wide, 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 either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up past that top elbow with a steady yet relaxed gaze. Nice. Despite the twist, despite the balance challenge, still finding a deep fold. Another great place to bring your focus to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your breath flows out. And as your breath flows out. So I'm going to go sideways for you guys. Stay just as you are. And we'll get different perspectives so people can see the next one. Coming out of our twist easily as we frame front foot with both hands. From here, let's walk this front foot forward, keeping the knee over the heel, center of the knee in line with the second and third toe. Walking it far enough forward to feel some stretch in the back leg. From here, we can angle the toes out once. Heel can be toes. We angle the toes out one more time, and then bringing both hands inside that leg. Some of y'all might be able to find the forearms. Others of us will just move towards the floor with the forearms as we bend the elbows. And then I'll allow you to let that neck relax and that head be super, super heavy. Wherever you're working, maybe give that little head a little wiggle, a little sway, releasing tension in the neck and shoulders. To that wiggle and sway of the head, maybe adding, without overly disturbing the knee, a little wiggle, a little waggle in that hip. Just inviting more flow, more prana into the hip. Nice. And then if you added that micro movement, coming back center, and on your next exhale, just letting everything be super, super heavy into the earth. Watch that knee, Josephine. Keep it right over the heel. From here, coming back up to 2 straight arms. Working this front foot back in. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee as we find low lunge. From low lunge, I'll invite you to ground down through the hands, either making your way back to down dog or cycling through yoga push-up, chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana or cobra, and then stretching it out. Whatever shape you choose to find, coming back to an even breath as you find your balance between your effort and your release. Welcome, Toby. Welcome, Tim. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling forward. On the inhale, we'll come back to our chair, knees over toes, hands over head. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, either keeping that light press to the palms or adding that isometric engagement. And then hands by our side. Let's step or jump our feet hip width apart. From here, we're going to inhale, arms out to one side. On the exhale, we're going to bend the knees, passing through center. Inhaling other side. You might let that breath push out. Just keeping it loose. Let's do 6 of these, both sides. Here comes 3. Here comes 3.5. Here comes 4. A couple more each way. 1 more each side. And then back to center, and we can jump it in thin like a pin. And again, if that's too narrow, feel free to work that wider space. From here, finding our chair pose, taking it lower, finding the power chair, Ardha Uttanasana. Now, feeling free to stay here, or we can play with an arm balance as we toe heel our feet out. We can squat on down. If your knees can find the armpits, awesome. Otherwise, you'll hug the upper arms like crazy as we ground down to 2 palms. We think about shifting the weight into the hands and floating the Bakasana, the crane. Awesome. Great choice, Markel. And that squat is a very challenging squat. So giving yourself credit for.
I'll try the head to stand it. How about doing that or not?
Those of you that found the balance, I'll suggest coming back down to the squat. From the squat, let's ground down through the hands in either step, or float the feet back. Either finding your down dog or cycling through vinyasa. From down dog, flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a 3-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. High on the right toes. Lifted leg straight as you stack the hips. Now bending the leg, opening up that hip. Looking between the hands, lifting that knee even higher. And then sweeping that left foot on through. Finding your warrior one. Arms up and over the head. And then we can bring hands back to the hips. And if I tend to have a narrow stance, that's just who I am, I'm going to lengthen my stance. If that's not you, don't do it. Okay? From here, hands find the shoulders. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head, pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then again, finding 2 arms high overhead. And with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time, breathing in. Breathing out in, holding for a big breath into your heart. So I'm going to cue left and right. Sometimes things get a little confused on the screen. So hand to that bent front leg finds the hip. We're going to find length on the far side, reaching up, and then reaching out. Reaching up, and then reaching out. Reaching up, and then reach. Now we're going to move to that grounded, twisted lunge. We can spin the back heel up. We can ground that knee. I'll suggest unfurling the foot, and then reach as we catch elbow to far side of thigh, and then finding your prayer hands. As you press those hands together, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up past that top elbow with that steady yet relaxed gaze. Always finding that balance between your sthira, your stirring it up energy, and your sukha, your easeful energy. Something happened.
No, I didn't know if my toes were supposed to be up or down.
So I would unfold back foot. I love an unfold back foot. Having said that, some people are different. One more breath here. Again, a deep, rich, and full breath, despite the twist, despite the balance. And then we'll move towards the gecko stretch. As we come out, hands frame the front foot again. Let me go sideways here so you guys get a different perspective. We can walk this front foot forward and be super mindful. We want to keep the knee right over the heel, center of the knee in line with the second and third toe right here. You want to walk far enough forward to feel some stretch right there. And then we're going to angle the toes out once. Heel meets toes. Angle the toes out, holding that stance, not disturbing that knee. As we bring hands inside the foot. And then some of y'all will go down to the forearms. Many of us will stop short of that. We're bending the elbows. And then relax the neck. And heavy the head. Again, I'll invite you to add a little swing, a little sway of the neck and shoulders. And then adding a little swing, a little sway without overly disturbing the knee of the hips as you invite more prana, more life force into that hip. And prana, life force, it's you can think of it of all kinds of things. If you're skeptic like myself, it's a metaphor. Just movement, a metaphor for movement, a metaphor for life. Coming back to a place of stillness, if you added that movement, and then on an exhale, just letting everything be super, super heavy. From here, if you bent the elbows, we'll come back up to two straight arms. We'll walk this foot back in. Hands frame the front foot. Now we're going to tuck those back toes. We're going to lift that back knee. And from here, ground it down with two hands as we make it back to down dog. And feel free to skip vinyasa, feel free to include vinyasa. Some of you hard chargers might add an extra push-up. There's lots of ways to work. Make sure you respect your body and do what's right and good for you. All good. Breath and move. From our down dog shape, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Welcome, Richard. Welcome, Laura. Welcome, William. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step on. Or take a jump front. Take a breath to find it. On the exhale. On the inhale, finding your chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, a little back bend at the top, open heart, open throat, fourth and fifth chakra. On the exhale, neutral spine. Again, I'll invite you to bring hands to heart. Either keeping that light press of the palms, riding that isometric engagement. And then hands by our side. From here, let's work that Warrior 3 variation and work the other 9, and we'll get there in stages. So hands find the hips. I'll invite you to step the left foot back. And anytime we balance, we want to keep ourselves loose. A bent knee really, really helps us with those little micro adjustments gravity invites us to make. So knees are a little bit bent, a little bit of spring, a little bit of flow. As we start to shift the weight onto the front foot, we start to float that back foot up. Lots of places to work. You can always come back to toe on the floor. Otherwise, starting to balance on one foot. We can think of the hip of that lifted back leg, the outer thighs moving down, Inner thighs moving up, but we're keeping our hips squared towards the floor. I'll suggest a flex back foot. Taking it further as we go back, either keeping the knees super, super bent or working more towards extension. From here, again, I'm going to go sideways here so you guys get a different perspective. Let's strengthen those hamstrings and glute as we lift the back leg for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now let's work that standing leg as we bend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 straight legs, and either keeping hands on hips or finding the classic X position as we stretch the hands in front. And then lifting the face to look to those hands, as if you're looking to a large glass ball. Awesome, nice Markel. Nice toes. From a lifted back leg, and if you had the hands in front, I know, we bring hands to hips. We soften the standing leg, ground that back foot in a warrior 1 shape, so that foot's fully grounded. From here again, if it's appropriate, longer in the stance. Finding a tray in front. From here, gathering energy into our center of balance. On the exhale, offering it out. A couple more times, breathing in. And breathing. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding for a big breath into your heart. And invite you to bring the elbows back, the hands up. From here, let's bring hands to hips. And step that back foot in. It's a short stance. So you go back a little bit so you all can see. So the heels line up. There's a big angle on that back foot. You can square our hips front. Let's bring our arms out to the side and then overhead. And then spinning the palms out, keeping that front knee relatively straight. A little bit of a bend, we don't want to lock the knee as we take a forward fold. Over that straight front leg. From this place, just like with a sun sal, take a breath to lift chin and tail. And then folding and holding, I'll invite you to draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips as you relax the neck and heavy the head. For Parsvottanasana, a yoga hamstring stretch. Again, before we add bigger movement, I'll invite you to add a little swing of the shoulders, a little sway of the head. Same thing with the hips. And then coming back center, and on your next exhale, just letting yourselves settle deeper into the shoulder. So right now our hips are facing that front foot. We're going to move between that position of the hips and a turning of the hips sideways. So from this place, I'll allow you to swing the hips to face side, so back hip turns out, front hip turns in, and then back hip swings back front hip stretches back. You might do this through rotation of the thighs. You might think about the back hip rotating out, front hip rotating in, moving at your own pace. And again, inviting that metaphor of life force, of prana. Just stirring it up, enjoying our movement, enjoying our breath. And now squaring those hips front, so our original stance here. And we'll move towards a revolved triangle. Hand that's closest to the front leg. That's going to find the sacrum. Back of the hand rests on the sacrum, palm faces up as if we're holding water. We're going to move towards a revolved triangle as we walk the other hand in, either big toe side of the foot, or you might cross the wrist over the ankle. So really up to you. You try that, it's too chicken. Just come back here. Lengthening to each side waist, not spilling our water as we turn our heart towards the straight front leg. We can keep hand right where it is. We can set the shoulder. We can stretch hand up. Either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up past those top fingers with that mixture of effort and super, super hard pose. Welcome, Seth. Welcome, John. Challenge pose if you choose. I love the balancing poses. You have to be strong. You have to be flexible. You have to be present. All great things, whether you're doing yoga or not. Those of you that would like to take it into a revolved half moon, we can bring hand back to the sacrum if it left. This hand here, if it crossed over, is going to come in front in line with the shoulder. If it's in close, it comes in line with the shoulder. We spin the back heel up, finding your foundation as we lift that back leg. Now turning our heart to face a standing leg. We can set the shoulder, we can stretch hand high, either looking down to the ground off to the side, or up past those top fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. And again, finding a deep, full breath, long, smooth breaths in. Long, smooth breaths in. Nice, awesome. From our revolved half moon, let's come out with grace and control as we frame front foot with both hands. Big step back as we find our lunge. And from lunge, back to down dog. As you will, either cycling through vinyasa or stretching straight back. Let your breath make the wherever you choose to work. Coming back to an even breath and watching that breath as it flows in and as it flows out. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Hail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or take a jump. Take a breath to find life. Exhaling, folding. Now I invite you to hold the forward fold as we toe heel our feet wide. Soft knees as we catch opposite elbows and gently swaying it from side to side. Switching the cross of the elbows, keep swaying side to side. And then back to center. I'll allow you to bring your hands onto your thighs. And we can roll our spines up with the assist as we push strongly into the thighs. Chin is tucked. Lifting the chin tall through the crown. 2 hands high in the air as if we're holding a big ball. I'll invite you to take 3 big full body breaths. Breathing in. And breathing out. Our hands and fingers can mimic our ribs. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then inhaling hands to heart as we draw our energy in towards center. Either keeping that light press of the palms or adding that isometric engagement. And then hands by our side. So let's jump it in. Thin like a pin. Moving towards that warrior 3, second side. Hand finds the hip. And again on cue. Right and left. And if you're on the other side, just make sure you've done the other side. Again, camera gets a little confusing. As we step our right foot back. Softening the knees, getting super, super springy here as we prepare for our balance. We can start to shift the weight into the front foot as we let that back foot get light. Keeping it super springy as we start to tilt our body forward. Either keeping the knees super bent, it's a great way to work, or you might move towards extension. Having said that, be mindful. We don't want to lock the knee, generally in most shapes. From here, we can work that glute and hamstring stretcher, strengthener, as we pulse it up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now working the standing leg as we bend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then either keeping hands on our hips or finding that classic X position, 2 hands in front, and then lifting the face to look through those hands as if you're looking through a large glass ball. Maybe it's a magic ball. What do you see in your magic ball?
Oh, magic. Future.
The future. We're all together again doing yoga at the Bay Club. Those of you that have the hands in front will bring the hands to our hips. Landing that back leg lightly. We'll come to warrior 1 prep, so that back foot's down. Everybody has different difference between the sides. So left and right. Just noticing that's part of the yoga. Lengthening the stance if appropriate. Squaring the shoulders. One more time tonight, that clasp of the fingers behind the hands. Open heart and throat, 4th and 5th chakra community. and communication. And then finding that tray in front, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time, breathing in and breathing out and holding for a big breath into your heart. From here, hands find the hips as we take a big step in. So to straighten that front leg, we want to keep a little spring in the knee. We want to line up the two heels, big angle in the back foot. From here, arms out to the side. And then overhead. And then spinning the palms out, giving a little spring in that knee as we find a forward fold over that front leg. Again, move slowly here. This can be intense. Ground it down through two hands if you need to shorten the stance. If the floor feels really far away, you can always just catch the shape. Relax neck, heavy head. And as we hold the shape, I'm going to allow you to add a little rock, a little swing, a little sway. Again, just starting to feel the pulsation of the air, feeling the gravity waves that pass through space, feeling the magic. And in this next suggestion, I'll go backwards. I know it's probably my best side, but you might be able to see it just a little bit better. As we swing the hips out, they face the side wall, and then we swing the hips front. And just back and forth. So if you want to think about rotation, we're rotating. When we turn the hips out, we're rotating back thigh out, front thigh in. When we rotate those hips front, we're rotating back thigh in, front thigh out. And again, just let it flow. Now moving towards that revolved triangle as we square the hips front. Hand closest to that front leg finds the sacrum, the palm faces up. We walk the other hand in, either working big toe side or crossing the wrist over the ankle. And then lengthening as we turn our heart towards a straight front leg. Either keeping the hand on the sacrum, keeping the palm facing up to the sky, or setting the shoulder and stretching the hand out. Awesome, nice Marco. Nice visual there. And either keeping your gaze down to the floor, off to the side, or up to the side. Nice. I want to think shoulder and arm working together. Nice, Joseph. And we're balanced. This is a super, super hard pose. So trying to keep that deep, full, and easeful quality to the breath. So we'll go same direction as Markel here. So feeling free to work your revolved triangle and hanging out here. Great hip, great stretch for that front hip. Moving towards the challenge balance as hand comes back to the sacrum. We spin the back heel up. We bring this hand in line with the shoulder, about a foot and a half front. From that foundation, lifting the back leg. Make sure you don't kick Joseph. I think we're good. We turn our heart towards a standing leg. We're going to set the shoulder. We're going to stretch hand high. Maybe spinning face. To look up to the sky. Nice. Awesome, guys. Super, super cool. Welcome, Seth. Those of you that found the flow, coming down with grace and control, hand finds the sacrum, we bend the standing leg, back foot low, front knee bends, hands frame the front foot. And one more time tonight, cycling through vinyasa, either cycling through the push-up, inhaling into the back bend, or just stretching straight back. Nice. Feel free. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step. Or take a jump front. Take a breath to find life. Exhaling, folding in, holding. Again, let's toe heel the feet out for a wide, wide base. Soft knees, opposite elbows, and swing it from side to side. Switching across to the elbows, keep swaying side to side. And then yogi's choice here, coming to center, either bringing hands onto the thighs for the assist, or letting the arms hang free with lots of core engagement as we masterfully stack our vertebrae. Lifting the chin tall through the crown when you get there. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. And then 2 hands high in the air and 3 more big full body breaths, breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then inhaling, hands to heart. Either keeping that light press to the palms or adding that isometric engagement. And hands by our side. So I've been breaking it into a 45-minute standing pose sequence and then 15 minutes when we get down on the floor and do another sequence of shapes. Today it's going to be prone back bends, super, super good for our back body and our back body lungs. Those of you that have something else to do, totally cool. It is Friday, so if there's a glass of wine in the fridge for you, awesome. Wait a minute, not you guys. So if you are leaving, namaste. Those of us that are staying, let's jump our feet nice and wide. And then we'll jump it in. And out. And out. And in. Out. In. Out. And in. Out. And in. Out. And in. A few more times. And then the next time those feet are wide, keeping those feet wide. As hands find the hips. Angling the feet out. And we're going to rock it into a half squat here as we take it on. When we find our half squat, knees over heels, elbows find the inner thighs, hands find the heart. I want you to keep rocking it from side to side. So we'll play with that Bakasana again, and I'll show you a transition into Vinyasa. We didn't quite do it last time, but it's a fairly typical transition. So if you want to play with your Bakasana, we'll go for it. Feel free to hold half squat. Feel free to drop it down into full squat. So we get lots of options here. Those of you that want to play with Bakasana, again, if you can bring the knees into the armpits, you won't have to work as hard. Otherwise, knees catch the upper arms. You have to hug like crazy. Or you stack the knees on that arm bone. And if you're not used to doing that, sometimes it's intense sensation. So finding a place for you to work. We're going to float our body forward, finding the float. From here, we can take it back to the top of a push-up. We're going to think about sliding the knees off the elbows. It happened a little bit for me. I haven't done it too often. The idea is almost like origami. It's almost like you're just sliding. I'll do it one more time. You're just kind of sliding the elbows off. It's not like you're jumping back. It's just like you're unfolding your body. And I swear, it's a lot easier than it looks. Having said it, it looks great. Feel free to practice at home. Carpet is your friend. All right, so we'll all meet in our down dog. From down dog, I'll invite you guys to find a child's pose. As we land those knees on down, sits bones back to the heels. Let's work the arms in extension as we walk the hands front. And then just letting yourselves heavy into the as we hold the child's pose, I invite you to gently rock your hips from side to side. From here, let's walk our hands in and find the kneeling hero pose. Let's connect the inner knees as we sit on our feet. We can bring hands onto our thighs. Let's just circle it out. And then taking those circles the other way. And then from here, let's come forward. Let's work an assisted push-up. This is an option you can do in any vinyasa. As we come forward, I'll go sideways here. Hands are pretty far in front. The toes are tucked. We want the back of the head in line with the sacrum. And we want to keep that. So this would be an assisted push-up. You can do this at any time in your vinyasa. Elbows shape the ribs, the knees are down. I also call it a rocking horse push-up. And when we get down, unfurling the feet across of the forearms. Let your forehead be heavy on those forearms. As we rest and relax on the floor, invite you to breathe into the back planes of your bodies. So this particular on our belly position gives our back lungs lots of room to fill up with air. And just enjoying that. When I've been reading lately, most of our lungs are on that back plane. So on our bellies, it gives our lungs lots of room to do what they do well. From this place, let's move towards a Sphinx pose. I'll go sideways, you guys stay in front. As we bring our elbows under our shoulders, spreading those fingers wide, shoulder blades backing down as the hips heavy into the floor. From here, I'll invite you to rock it from hip point to hip point as we get into our low back. Now adding a little dipping of the shoulder. When we rock to one hip, we dip the shoulder, and then other side. Now adding a little swing of the head. When we dip the shoulder, we swing the head away, and then towards. And then adding a little rotation. When we dip the shoulder and swing the head away, we can look over that back shoulder as we connect the crown of our head to the base of our spine. And then coming back center, ears in line with shoulders, shoulders in line with hips. And let's move towards our forearm planks. As we tuck the toes, we lift the thighs, navel in towards spine as we lift it on up, finding that line of connection between the head, the hips, and the heels. If I think about stretching those heels towards the back wall as you stretch out those Achilles tendons and calves. Nice. From this place, let's work the fascia of our feet as we rock to the tips of the toes and then back to the base. Tips of toes and back to base. Tips and base, halfway done. Tips and base. Tips and base. One more time. Tips and base. Now landing the knees, unfurling those feet, landing the hips, pulling back with the elbows to lengthen front part, and then switching the cross of the floor and letting yourselves be super heavy on the floor. From here, let's bring our hands on either side of our shoulders as we ground down through the chin. From this place, let's lift head and heart. Now, I'll invite you to either keep the toes down, and we can rock it with the legs down, or lifting those legs. Just rocking it front to back as we tap the toes down, and then lifting the legs as we lower the heart. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down, halfway done. Inhaling up, exhaling down, last two. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhaling down. I'll allow you to turn your head to one side as we come all the way down, spinning the palms up and taking a big breath in through the nose and let it spill out through the mouth. Big breath in through the nose and then out through pursed lips, almost like a whistle. And then breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, yoga style. Other side, we lift the head, we find that second side, and let me demonstrate the breath. So we breathe in through the nose and just let it spill out through the mouth. We breathe in through the nose and then out through pursed lips, almost like you're whistling. And then breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, yoga style. From this place, let's work that rocking horse push-up in reverse as we bring hands under our shoulders, tucking the toes. The knees stay down, but we lift the hips up. We want to keep the hips lifting the whole time as we push on it. And then stretching it back to a child's pose. As we hold this child's pose, keeping hips and heels just as they are, I'll invite you to walk your hands to the right as you stretch left sits bone back towards left. Now walking our hands through center, finding that second side as we stretch right sits bone towards right. And then back to center. Let's walk our hands in as we come back to that kneeling hero pose. One palm supports the other, relaxing our shoulders, finding our breath. Remember, let's work some head circles as we dip the chin and then circle the head around. And let's do 3 this way, inhaling and exhaling. Last one this direction, inhaling and exhaling. Now let's take those head circles the other way, inhaling and exhaling. Last one. And then back to center. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. I'm going to cue a Shavasana. Feel free to hold the Shavasana. I'll close the class with a blessing and a sit. If you're not ready to find a blessing and a sit, feel free to lay on your back. That's what it's all about. We do a lot of movement, so when we do lay down, we can finally lay down and relax without feeling the fidgets, as my mom used to go. So anyway, let's take our legs off to one side. Let's go long through those legs, like we did way back when. Maybe those legs or knees want a little love and attention. And then we're going to roll down onto our backs. We can start from neutral spine or tall spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum. From here, tucking tail and chin as we find C-spine. And as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion, we're going to slowly lower ourselves. We get down, full body stretch, arms by the ears, as we point fingers and toes. And then sweeping the hands. On an exhale by our hips, as we widen the legs, flatten the shoulders, scooting the head back. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you tonight. Tip of the tongue. Now neutral in the mouth. A slight part to the lips. But still breathing in and out through the nose. So just checking the time here. Really short Shavasana for those of us here in the room. I'll encourage you to hold your Shavasana. Otherwise, I'm going to, for us, we'll do the sit and the prayer or the blessing. But feel free to stay on your back here. We worked hard, you guys. Everybody, whether here or in Facebook land, deserves a nice rest. Those of us here in the room, those of you that have another place to get to, wiggling fingers and toes as we invite prana into our bodies. Circling wrists and ankles as we draw that energy into center. Bending the knees and then using the thighs to massage the belly as we lift and lower the low back and hips. Keep your knees close in as we stretch long through an arm, rolling onto one side, taking a breath here. Maybe that breath sighs out through your mouth. Neck relaxed, face soft. As we press on up to find a cross-legged sit. As we sit, hands on the knees, pulling back with the hands to sit a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin. As you watch your breath flow in and out, let me ring the bells. Very, very pretty sound. And just listening as the sound of the bells diminishes towards silence. And finding that silence, that sense of peace, that sense of stillness within ourselves. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart and bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga. And as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world, taking a little bow, whatever feels right and good. And then back up. Namaste, the light within me, honors and respects the light within you. And we'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for practicing with us.
Namaste next time.
Namaste. And have a nice day or have a nice evening.
Namaste. All right. That didn't roll over as well as I thought. Did you guys hear my elbows crack on that?